up, chat? Today, we're going to talk about one of, if not the most important step when becoming a travel content creator and planning out your trip is the follow-up. Let's get into it. Following up is a key. It's a lost art, if you will. So naturally they tell you, when you're meeting a client or meeting somebody, it takes about 7 touch points before they decide if they're going to go with you or not. So this is my rule of thumb. So you just put yourself in a situation. You may be getting 100 emails or all these kind of emails and stuff, and sometimes you just miss or forget to respond back to an email. So the rule of thumb is always to follow up, and follow up. I'm a person that if you haven't told me no, then the option could be yes. So normally what I like to do is I'll send out my emails, and depending on the time, I'll wait a week and I'll follow up. And then I may do that for 3 weeks, maybe 4. Coming in there, and then I'll follow up like every 3 days, every 2 to 3 days until they say no, or I just like, you know what, I probably followed up about 10 times and nothing. I might, switch to another email. So sometimes after maybe about 5 or 6 or 7, I'll switch to another email, try to find another contact if I don't know for a fact that is the person that's the decision maker. But I also want to show you something, because this gives you insight of when you're doing collaborations, if there's people that you actually want to work with or not. So for example, there is a management company in Merida that manages and oversees a lot of Airbnbs. So a lot of times if I can find a management company, I will definitely reach out to them, because if they have the keys to the owners that know hot and cold if they want to do collaborations or reach out, that's perfect. It's a win-win situation for everybody. And if not, generally I won't be able to find the other, Airbnb owners and stuff like that. Or in this situation, it gives me a look at the character of the people, and that'll let me know, even if afterwards, even say if I wanted just to book, because I've done that before. I'm like, I really like this Airbnb or this hotel, so I'm gonna just book it anyway and make the contact because I just want to stay there. I know what kind of situation I'm gonna be in, and therefore. So, for example, I reached out to this management company, and I'm going to read you the emails. I'll put their reply back, their replies on the screen so y'all can see. But I was reading, reaching out and just standard stuff. But there was a huge red flag. So did my research. There's co-founders of this management company. They both oversee 2 different things. One is a general manager, which is generally the top, but they're both responding back to me, because that was the email I was supposed to give. And with both of them, they were giving conflicting information when I'm trying to clarify. And so when you have already me just inquiring about something and there's conflicting information, or it doesn't seem like y'all 2 who are co-owners, co-partners agree on something, then that means the collaboration generally, if there was, would go south. And secondly, if you were to book any of those Airbnbs that is managed by them, you may run into some issues because already there's miscommunication. So let's get into that as well. So, December 30th, I reach out and I say, hello, Blase and Blase. I wanted to follow up on this opportunity because on December 20th, I had already sent them out an email, just a short little email about my interest of collaborating with them. So you get to December 30th, I do a follow up. It's the Christmas holiday, so I'm not too strict on my schedule because everything is crazy. I'm just trying to get some heat out there just to see if I can get some warm leads. And so on December 30th, the first person reaches out back and says, hi, Roland. Sorry for not responding. We are crazy with the holidays. For the collaboration, do you have a house in mind? Says each of them have different owners. They are all different as how they manage. And so before we can agree to a collaboration, I would need to know the house and get the owner's approval. What does that sound like to you? It's a warm lead. Hey, let's talk about a collaboration. I just need to get the owner's approval, say what, even if you're lying, that's a warm lead. So it's like, cool. This was December 30th, 2024, 1:21, as y'all see on the screen. I respond back, thank you for the response. I understand how crazy it must be. I wanted to check in first before providing a list. I'll go through and pull a few and send them over. So I knew that they had multiple lists. It's not my first rodeo, but you always want to check. And before I do all that information and do all that work, let's just see what they're talking about. So from here, the other co-owner responds, says, "Hi, Roland. I apologize for my delayed response. I reviewed the collaboration proposal, and unfortunately, it's not something we're interested in at the moment. If our position change, we'll sure to inform you right away." Usually that last part is never, their position will change. So now we have two conflicting situations. Okay, I'm a person of clarity, and I already got a warm lead. And if this person supersedes you, because at the time I don't know, sorry, bro. I'm trying to get this collab. So I respond back, "Thank you for your response," that person's name. "Just for clarification, since I received two different responses, I should disregard the initial email from Blase, since you do not want to move forward, correct? ? You see where I'm going here? And I'm kind of stirring up a little bit, a little friendly fire there for them. Then the other person responds back, the initial person who gave the warm lead. "Sorry for the confusion. I may not explain correctly. The reason for the list is, as I said, each house has a different owner. And like Carlos said, most of them are not interested in collaboration. This is why Carlos sent the email." Okay. That still ain't not clear to me. Okay. Oh. So I send a response, say, "Thank you for the clarification. If things change, I will be looking for a new 2-night collaboration, and I've included the list of the houses below. Thank you for the clarification. If things change." Then the other guy responds back. It says, "Good evening. Sorry for being bold on this. There won't be any collaboration for any of our properties we represent." Now, it's quite different from if our position changes. It's not like your position is permanent. So a lot of times you get to sniff out a lot of red flags. From there, if you want to move forward, if there was a collaboration, or if any of these homes I might want to avoid, because I might run into if issues arise, then I already don't have confidence in your communication skills and your management skills, if you will, pun intended. Now let's go to a warm lead that we have. So we have a boutique hotel. I love boutique hotels. You know why? It's not a lot of people, and when you do collaborations, they always treat you so well. So I reached out to them on January 2nd, and I got a response back on January 9th. And the guy says, "Hola, Roland. Muchas gracias." Oh, this is in Spanish. Let me translate this into English. Pro tip. A lot of times I will communicate initially in the native language because it's a sign of respect. And a lot of times I don't know if I'm reaching somebody that does have a language barrier. From there, they usually are way more willing to work with me. And I will tell them, I apologize that my language is not that well, because I'm using a translator. It's not that well, but it's just a sign of respect for me to react. So I get it. The response back, "Hello, Roland. Thank you very much for contacting us. We love the idea that you have noticed our hotel. For this collaboration agreement, what do you propose? What are you asking for in return? We're delighted to hear from you again. And that's the kind of email I like to hear. This is my warm lead. Normally, this might be the place I'm going to go. It just needs to check out. So me and him talk particularly for the rest of the day with everything. And we asked about what dates. He asked for dates to check room availability and all that kind of stuff. And then it was like towards the end of the day for me, I didn't really respond back. And then I may follow up a week later or something like that because people do get busy. And I've already got the warm that I need. So hold on one second. All right. New day, same me. Like I said, life gets busy. So I had to continue this the next day. But the biggest thing that I want to drive home is follow up. That is one of the hardest things and the most tedious things that people forsake and go for, and they get discouraged, but you got this. If they don't say no, then there's always a possibility of a yes. Generally, rule of thumb, after about 7 or 8 follow-ups, you might want to try to find a different person if you haven't got a response from that specific company, brand, hotel, resort, so forth, because that's happened for me. I had one email and then I jumped to another email, and then that was the person I needed to talk to, and or that person got me to the right person that I needed to talk to. So this is the boring part in the in-between of traveling. This is when you're in the trenches building out a travel trip, but it's worth it when you get that yes. The yes is definitely worth it. So keep going, keep plowing through, keep following up. Don't feel like you're burdensing somebody, you're being a burden and all that other stuff. Just, you got it. Let's keep pushing, and I'll see you in the next episode of How to Become a Travel Content Creator.